Hey guys, Philosopher here, and today we're going to be testing out Multiple Man in DD4. And what we're going to do is I'm going to not bring in 5 characters. I'm only going to bring in 4 characters because that's what most of you are doing on your first run. And I'm going to use the most popular 3 characters that I keep seeing people bring: Symbiote Spider-Man, Anti-Venom, and Scream. And I'm going to use Multiple Man as the 4th character. Now, I will also once we die, whenever that is, I will try to also then res the rest of the team and bring in Night Nurse as the 4th, so you can get a direct comparison. I do think Night Nurse is amazing. She's part of the Shadowland team, which is awesome. She's great in the skill nodes and the Doom raid, so she's fantastic. Multiple Man's also on an awesome team, and a lot of people are asking me, should I bring Multiple Man? That's what we're going to answer today. Now, one thing I do want to say to you is, if you have only 4 characters, you should go here to the save squads. You can actually make a squad that only has 4 characters in it, like this one here with a space, and then you can save that and you can use that in DD4. We'll only be running 4 characters, but I will put a space there to put Scream off to one side. All right, what I've done is I've actually used the characters, including Multiple Man, to get through the first 2 DD4 nodes in City, but this last node's the real test, okay? These one-shots don't mean anything, right? Because everybody was one-shotting these things pretty routinely with 3 symbiotes plus others. What I think is most interesting to folks is, what is this last node? How is it going to look? And, there are some real challenges here for Multiple Man because we have X-23 and Scream, right? Characters that are going to actually get some value out of killing his dupes. Quite a few X-23s, as a matter of fact. So I think that's going to be a challenge for Multiple Man on this node, and I think is really going to help me determine, where exactly he falls in my DD4 infographic. I do have it linked below, and I will be updating it soon with Multiple Man and Silver Surfer, the newer characters in the game, but I really wanted to test them out first, and that's what we're going to be doing here. Now, like I said, I think what we want to do is have Scream here on the side. I'll take out White Tiger. One thing I will just say, by the way, in these nodes is that really the 4th characters are usually not doing that well in these nodes. It's always the symbiotes carrying. So if Multiple Man can just stay alive and contribute, I think that would be really great. I mean, one thing that I do like about Multiple Man is he has a mechanic that is kind of like having, when people are doing double Greg, triple Gregs with that Hella Minerva combo and Cosmic, getting multiple Gregs out there so that this way it's just a distraction. The enemies go for these low health characters. That's kind of what those dupes are, right? They're just constantly coming out, constantly giving a distraction, making it so that there's 10 targets instead of just 4, which obviously means that the enemy is going to only have a 40% chance of hitting one of your core targets, and they're probably going to target uh, the low health dupes instead of your main characters. So let's see how this goes. Now, this is a tough node, probably the toughest node in Dark Dimension 4. And we'll just have to see here. Really, on this one, you want to have SSM survive. Oh my goodness. Well, let's see. I usually, you cannot stun. Some people use Skirmisher on SSM to try to get the stun on JJ here. It's usually hard. I'm going to stun. Do I want to stun Captain? I think Captain America won't use his taunt on turn 1, so we'll just do that. And let's just see. Whoa, Scream is already down. So we're going to res Scream now. And that'll also have the benefit there of uh, getting Multiple Man healed a little bit. All right, so we'll use the ultimate there. All right, so let's get some more dupes out. Okay, that helps. So let's see. The issue is really going to be in terms of AoE here. Do they have so much AoE that, oof, wow. Wow, wow, wow. So one thing that there's real synergy here, by the way, is when Scream's fastest, so when a dupe dies, Scream gives heals to the entire team every time a dupe dies. She also gives speed up to the team. So that is a benefit that I can see here. Real synergy. The other thing is when, and here I'm starting to load up, getting ready for that ultimate. When Anti-Venom does his ultimate, it's going to spread to the dupes, which I think is a nice thing. Now, there's not many dupes here, but frankly, at this point, I just want to keep Multiple Man alive. I don't want him to get hit. That's a really important thing. It seems like they're going for Symbiote Spider-Man. This must be one of those ways where they focus on the highest damage. Um, and that is a reason why I have Fortifier on Scream here. In DD4, you really don't want to have Scream as your highest damage. She will not live long. Okay, so here I'm loading up on debuffs here, and let's extend. And the goal here is really to try to spread them over to JJ at some point, to Jessica Jones, who you're concerned about because she cleanses. Wow. By the way, this is such a tough node, isn't it? This is definitely very uncomfortable for folks. By the way, that dupe, though, really doing a good job of the eating the damage. That's for sure. All right, let's try to get the defense down on Jessica Jones. No luck. All right, let's just keep punching here. She's healing. Miss Marvel is not a good choice. Uh-oh. Wow. Deleted. Unbelievable. Wow. Well, the question is, can Multiple Man and his dupes keep us alive long enough to get this going? And I don't know. Very, very tough. So really what I would just say is, Multiple Man, oh, this is interesting. I ordinarily would save this for the next wave, but I really want to show you how he does here. So once he gets his dupes out and gets going, that is a value. Oh, they're going for, wow. Not very well. I have to say, he did very well in the first two nodes. Just okay here, right? Now, one thing I just want to give you guys a sense of. Multiple Man, is not doing much worse than everyone else. In other words, whenever I have ran this node, the fourth characters, and on my first run it was like, be Punisher, Merc Lieutenant. Now I have White Tiger. I've tried Night Nurse. They never do awesome, okay, and that's just the reality of things here. They never do super awesome. But let's heal these and let's see how the team does a Night Nurse, and you can judge for yourself. That's really, that's really the test here. A lot of people are choosing between Night Nurse and Multiple Man, and that's what we're going to test. Now, I do think, just to be clear, in the first two notes, I had some amazing results with Multiple Man. I really think, though, the issue is that there was lower damage there. It gave him time to build up an army of dupes. The dupes would tend to survive. Then you could buff the dupes, and they would get rolling. But I do think there's an element of he needs to be able to get rolling. And as you saw earlier, this is a 6th red star Multiple Man, and I purposely waited to test until I got him up to enough of a star level that he's comparable to my other characters, because I don't think it's fair for me to compare him to Night Nurse and White Tiger and Punisher and all these things where I have them all at 7 yellows and 5 or 6 reds. You really, and same with the symbiotes. Oh crap, I have White Tiger in here. We got to quit out. Well, actually, let's just see. You can see for yourself how she performs. White Tiger is actually quite interesting here. Let's just roll with it. And you could see. All right, so there you go. White Tiger just gets absolutely rolled. Actually, it's so funny. It's the only reason she does well here is because she had Night Nurse saving her butt. You can see Night Nurse fantastic. The problem is she just gets rolled, and that's the thing. She's a very interesting character and very important in the game right now. One of the top characters to work on. But, she's just same with White Tiger. These are two of the top characters in the game because Shadowland is awesome. You've seen my videos about Shadowland. But you know what? They just last a hit or two here, and that doesn't make them any different than a lot of other characters in DD4. I mean, I will just tell you, in DD4, as I said, I bring in any of these other 4th characters. It's really the symbiotes who do all the work here, more than anything. So, all right, we're just saving that. I didn't need the heal, and I just was like, let's just save her ult. All right, we're going to extend the stun. We're getting on a little bit of a roll here, but let's face it, it has nothing to do with, Night Nurse, because she's already dead. And I know a lot of folks are always, are really considering Night Nurse because she is so much value. You want her for the Doom raids anyways, and I totally get that. But you're doing it for their value elsewhere. And by the way, that has always been my philosophy. If you look at my DD4 guide below, which I link below, my whole philosophy on DD4 is, please gear characters you actually want to have geared, because there's so much orange gear that goes into this that if you don't actually want to have the character geared, you're just wasting that gear, right? You can get through this with, any characters. It could take a while, but you can get through this with any assortment of reasonable meta characters, and that's what I have listed on my infographic. But I will say this: for City, is really hard to do without symbiotes, and you're gonna want to have at least two, but I would say three symbiotes. As you can tell, they're the ones who do the vast majority of the work here, and I think really it's just because the nodes here were balanced around symbiotes. And if they made this something where you could bring in Merc Rycard, Merc Lieutenant, and Punisher and do well, then the symbiotes would be like something they could auto. So look, what did you see here? What do we determine? I think multiple man's okay in DD4, but he's kind of just in the same spot where Night Nurse is, or White Tiger, or any of these other characters. Like, just okay. And I think that is really all that I would say about him. Interesting character, not a character that I would be saying is going to carry you in DD4. But if you need that fourth spot, if you're bringing in three symbiotes and you're trying to figure out who my fourth one could be, who would be the fourth option, I think he's just as reasonable as Night Nurse, as sort of a reasonable meta option. Although he costs 72 uniques instead of 54, and he costs mutant uniques instead of skill. All right, guys, if you like this video, smash that like button, subscribe to this channel, and hey, check out our Discord. It's linked below. We have lots of great theory crafting conversations there, things like that. And then also, we have our Twitch stream linked below, and we have great discussions on weekdays.